Hi guys, I'm Brody and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I've created a monster. Now a quick disclaimer before I start, this isn't a busted, broken, OP, insane or illegal build. It's just my version of the Titan Doomfang build, which excels at ad clearing, having a great super uptime, and will get you through those haunted last sectors, things like Dares of Eternity, in no time at all. So without further ado, let's get into the build. Okay guys, I just want to stress again that this is just a fun Halloween build that I've made, designed to get you through last sectors real quick, the haunted last sectors especially, and also Dares of Eternity, things like that. It's great for ad clearing. You can take it to endgame as well, but there were much better options out there. It's just a nice fun Halloween build I wanted to make for you guys. Let's take a look. Obviously we're using the Void subclass with Sentinel Shield. We've got to run around like Captain America and cause some chaos. Plus he is the best superhero, I don't care what anyone says. You're wrong. And then we're using Shield Bash. Not only is this suppressing the targets, but we're going to get an overshield from defeating enemies with this, which is important. This is definitely the best option we've got here for causing so much damage, causing loads of explosions, and clearing out those ads as soon as possible. For the grenade, I'm using the magnetic grenade because I just believe this is the most powerful, strongest grenade in this subclass. You just lob it at a big enemy, hopefully it'll kill them. If it doesn't, they're going to become volatile, thanks to Controlled Demolitionist. So hitting a target with avoidability of volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to a volatile target causes them to explode and grants you and nearby allies health when volatile targets explode near you. So this is fantastic for ad clearing. And because we're up close and personal killing things, we're going to get our health back as well when a volatile target explodes. For the second aspect, I'm going to use offensive Bulwark. This is why we want an overshield from the Shield Bash. While you have an overshield, your grenade recharges significantly faster. You have increased melee range and damage, and melee final blows extend the duration of your overshield. And you gain an additional shield throw while in Sentinel Shield. But what's great about this is while we've got an overshield, the increased melee range and the increased melee damage are also going to proc Controlled Demolitionist. So we're just running around smacking things with our fists and they're just exploding all around us. And all this time we're gaining health back. We want to keep this overshield uptime as much as possible. And there's a few more ways of doing that, which I'll get to when we move on to the weapons and mods and stuff. So for the fragments, this is an interesting one. I've done lots of testing with this. Because Echo of Expulsion, I never really thought about using this because what's the point? You know, void ability final blows cause targets to explode, but Controlled Demolition is doing that anyway. But after lots of testing, I found that Echo of Expulsion just makes the chain reaction of these explosions more frequent. It just seems a lot more powerful in my opinion. And this is procced on final blows, on kills, whereas this is just procced on hit. So for example, if I run up and shield bashed, say a headless one in the haunted last sector, and I didn't get the kill, Echo of Expulsion is useless. It's great for ad clearing and stuff. But if I did that with Controlled Demolitionist, and then say pulled out a trench barrel shotgun, then he would explode on death. So that's the difference between the two of these. And I find that running them both together, there is a significant difference in explosions. So I love running these two together. So that's our first fragment. Second fragment, Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapon. That's self-explanatory, but if you didn't know, once we kill a target with our grenade, our void weapons, doesn't matter what it is, swords, rocket launcher, SMGs, they're all going to have volatile rounds, which basically puts Controlled Demolitionist into your gun, into your weapon, shooting things with volatile rounds. When they die, they explode. Absolutely awesome fragment. Thirdly, Echo Reprisal. Final blows when surrounded by combatants grant super energy. Things are going to be exploding around us all the time. And the Exotic Arms is all about getting our super back. No brainer, we want our super energy back ASAP. So with this and some mods, and a couple more ways to get our super back real quick, this is a no-brainer here. Echo of Exchange. Melee final blows grant grenade energy. So it's a melee build. Obviously it's nice to have grenade energy, but what we really want from the grenade is for it to trigger volatile rounds for our void weapons. So that's why we're using that. It all just ties in together nicely and everything's just complementing each other here. Let's have a look at the armor. So on our mask, I'm going to be using Arc purely because of hands-on. Gain bonus super energy on melee kills. Again, it's a melee build. Rocking double of these because they do stack. It's going to give us that bit more super energy back every time we get a melee kill. And then I'm using elemental charge because of a mod we'll get to in a second, but basically elemental charge is going to make us become charged with light by picking up an elemental wow. We're going to get our elemental wows from using melee wow maker. Obviously it's a melee build. We're going to be meleeing things all the time. We're going to get elemental wows from doing so. And also I recommend stasis arms because of melee Kickstarter. When your melee energy is fully expanded, you gain melee energy. And this is going to give you 15% of your melee energy back instantly as soon as you've used it. And if you can fit another one on here, it's going to give you 25% back. So they do stack there. But also we're going to use another mod to give us our melee energy back even quicker in a second. On the chest piece, we're going to be using Well of Tenacity. Picking up a Void Elemental Wow reduces the damage you take from combatants for a short period of time. Now, this is a 50% damage reduction, which is crazy. And even though it lasts for about 5 seconds, we're meleeing things all the time, so we're always picking these up. So as long as there's something to melee, we've got a 50% damage reduction, and that's on top of the 40% damage reduction that our resilience is going to give us if you've got that maxed out to 100. So you've got 90% damage reduction here, which is just a no-brainer. For a melee build, anyway, an aggressive melee build, definitely stick that on if you've got the spare slot. And then on the legs, I'm using Elemental Ordnance. So defeating targets with our grenades is going to spawn Elemental Wows. So not only are we getting them from our melee kills, we're getting them from our grenade kills. So that's 2 ways of getting Elemental Wows, which not only are going to recharge our abilities, but it's going to give us a 50% damage reduction. And then finally on the mark, this is why we want to become charged with light, heavy-handed. While charged with light, regain half of your melee energy when you use a charged melee ability, consuming 1 stack of charged with light. So picking up a Void Elemental Wow, because it's the same as our subclass, is going to give us 2 stacks of charge with light. And every time we use our melee ability, we're going to get 15% melee back from melee Kickstarter, and then we're going to get 50% of our melee energy back from heavy-handed. So we've instantly got 65% of our melee energy back as soon as we've used it. So these Void Elemental Wows are giving us ability regen, damage reduction, make us charge of light, so we can get our melee energy back instantly. Now let's look at weapons, the spicy part. There's so many options here, so many options. One of my favorite guns to use is my crafted Blood Feud. On here I'm running Advanced Pugilist and I've got Enhanced Swashbuckler. So getting a melee kill is going to give us a full 5-time stack of Swashbuckler, which gives us 33% damage on this weapon, 4.5 seconds. It just ties in perfectly. These 2 perks together work hand in hand for this build. Pugilist, final blows of this weapon generate improved melee energy. Dealing melee damage briefly improves this weapon's handling. And then Swashbuckler, this weapon gains increased damage for an improved duration from melee final blows and defeating targets with this weapon. 33% damage with this weapon for 4.5 seconds is nothing to be snubbed at, so awesome weapon for this build. Now I've been running double SMG with this because it is such an up close and personal build. I've been using my Unforgiven because I've got Demolitionist on here, which is going to give us grenade energy back on kills, but Repulsor's Brace, defeating a void debuff target grants an overshield. So if we throw our grenade at a target and it doesn't kill them, it's going to make them volatile thanks to Controlled Demolitionist. And then if we kill them with this weapon, we're then going to get an overshield thanks to Repulsor's Brace. So remember, when we got an overshield, our grenade charges a lot faster and we do increased melee damage and range because of Offensive Bulwark. And then if we get a melee kill, that's going to extend the duration of our overshield as well. So Repulsor's Brace is an awesome trait to run with this build. And I've actually got Repulsor's Brace on my SMG here and my sword. This is a craftable sword. So I'm using Enhanced Relentless Strikes, landing 3 light attack hits within an improved short time grant sword ammo. And then again, Repulsor's Brace. If we hit a target with our grenade, or if we shield bash an enemy but don't quite finish them, whip out the sword, smack them a few times with that, and that's going to give you an overshield then. This trait is awesome for this Void subclass. And if you time everything right, you can make these overshields just keep lasting forever. Those are my weapons of choice. Those are my favourite weapons to use anyway. Another few options are, if you've got a weapon that you absolutely love, and then you've got an osmosis roll on there, your volatile rounds that you're going to get from Echo of Instability, or any kinetic weapon you've got with osmosis on, just because you like the feel of it, you just like the looks of it, whatever, that's a good shout. You're going to get a kill with a grenade, and then this kinetic weapon will then have volatile rounds. So that's a good shout if there's just a weapon that you love using all the time. Then on bigger enemies, trench barrel. So after a successful melee hit, so if you go up to a champion, you shield bash them. They're not dead, but they're suppressed, and because of controlled demolitionist, you prop them now to explode once they do die. And with trench barrel, you've got 50% increased damage, 5 seconds, or until 3 shots are fired. So this shotgun is going to be lethal after you've hit them with that shield bash, smack them a few times with trench barrel, and watch them explode. So this or 1-2 punch, they're great shotgun options. Again, it's an up close and personal build, so you want to really be using weapons close distance. 1-2 punch, hitting an enemy with every pellet in the shot increases melee damage for a short duration. So even though it's not void, this is still going to do a ton of damage. Those are just some great options to mess with. If you've got a void shotgun, even better. Funnel web with frenzy on is always a good shout, so I highly recommend that. You've got an absolute ton of options, so get creative yourselves. I believe this is the best setup though, how I've got it at the minute, because if I've got no melee energy for whatever reason, I'll use Blood Feud. If I've got no grenade for energy for any reason, I'll use Unforgiven. When an enemy has been debuffed by the grenade or, you know, controlled demolitionist, finish him off with Unforgiven or your sword. Get that overshield. That overshield is then going to make you like supercharge. Our melee range is increased. Our melee damage is increased thanks to offensive Bulwark. You just keep the ball rolling with these repulsor braces. Get that super up, and you can make this super last for minutes if you time it right. So that's my build, guys. I hope you really enjoy it. Happy Halloween. Thank you for watching my video. If you've made it this far, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Take care. Bye bye.